Magandang araw sa iyo, kabayan. This is Kachamp John P., Coach Jonathan of B Academy Training Hub for Entrepreneurship. I'd like to invite you to enroll in our online entrepreneurial masterclass wherein there are 4 things that I'd like to share with you bago ka magsimula magnegosyo. Una, paano gumawa ng entrepreneurial branding to create value for the product or service na naiisip mo. Number 2, how to create demand-driven marketing strategies so that you can attract and promote and position your products and service. And number 3, tinatawag kong strategic salespreneurship on how you're going to convert all your leads, all your inquiries into sales revenue. At syempre, number 4, how can you maintain and attract customer loyalty and customer experience. These 4 videos will be accessed by you online, anytime, anywhere, fully digital. All you have to do is enroll at www.coachjonathan.net/entrepmasterclass. And not only that, I'm going to give you a copy of the ebook, yung Seesaw Sell, 5 killer instinct mindsets for you to sell and win more in this new norm. So, libre ng ebook. And what's good is you can be certified. I'm going to give you assessments for each and every course that you take. So 4 courses in one. It's called the Online Entrepreneurial Masterclass. Maraming salamat and I'll see you in class. God bless you. All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Professor Jonathan of Planet 63, products from the Philippines, products for the Filipinos, right? Right now, you're watching live, It's the 3rd of October, 3rd of November here in the Philippines. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. So you are now watching Planet 63, your premier virtual platform for trade and technology. So if you have products from the Philippines that you would like to promote across the globe, specifically in the United States, this is the best platform for you to do that. And of course, if you have products that you would like to bring into the Philippines or to be marketed, promoted around the globe as well for the Filipino market or community, this is your platform as well. So good afternoon, everyone in the USA. And with me, of course, is the founder and CEO of Planet 63 USA, with us once again on our 5th episode. Wow, partner, just imagine we are on our 5th episode. So coming all the way from California, let's welcome Mr. Ferdinand Soriano. How are you, Ferdinand?
Jonathan, kamusta na? Okay?
Kamusta kayo dyan sa Amerika? I hope everything is okay.
No, we're good.
Okay here, sir. Although, of course, maliit ang Bicol region and some part of the central Luzon. And thank you for all your prayers and all your support.
Good evening, everyone in the US, and magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat in the Philippines. Welcome to Planet 63. And I really can't start the show without briefly acknowledging and talking about the events that are happening in the Philippines, just like Jonathan said. So, Jonathan, just give us a little bit more as far as just briefly the status of in the Philippines just with after the typhoon. I don't know if it's already passed, it's still there. I know that there were a lot of people that were affected by it. So briefly tell us a little bit about that.
Correct. Yeah, 2 things, Bong. Of course, this is nature. By the way, how, no matter how we prepared for it, we cannot say that the attack of this nature to us here in the Philippines specifically because of the infrastructure, there was a big damage, Bong, in Ferdinand in the Bicol region. There was really community or a barangay, if you're still familiar with the word barangay, was really swept away, right, by this typhoon. But fortunately to some, of course, since the government in a way prepared for it, so there were relief goods, boats have been prepared, to save them, because I think there was about 16 or close to 20 casualties from this typhoon, which is improving. I mean, needless to say, it's improving, because in some other years, we have hundreds or 200s, just like the Habagat, the Ondoy, the Yolanda, the Rosing, and all. And thanks for your prayers, to all the Filipinos who prayed for the Philippines. At least it's gone now. The sun is shining brightly once again. as
Mhm.
bright as my head today. I don't know. Is it
Yeah.
shining? Ferdinand? Is
No,
my
no,
head
not
shining?
quite. You're doing good.
Thank
So
you.
again, I want to, our thoughts and prayers to those that are
Thank you.
currently going through these challenges. I know, Jonathan. Let's see if we can contribute today and with the forward movement of the Philippines. Okay. So, with that being
Sure.
said, hello, everyone. We are back. We are back, our
You're
fifth
back.
episode, and we're ready to bring value to our guests and have fun doing it. Our show is about making local U.S., Philippines, and U.S. products become global. My name is
Correct.
Ferdinand Soriano of Planet 63 US, and I am so glad that you can join us again. And for those viewing our show for the first time, you will definitely discover something new. As always, we will be introducing two guests and their products that are relevant to the US and Philippine market. And I want to ask the viewers something. Now, do you need a product for your online business? Are you in charge of purchasing, sourcing products for your company? If so, I think we might have something for you today. So please stay tuned for our first guest. They are a US based marketing company. They're called My Jeepney Stop. And we are
Wow.
joined today by the founders of the company. Their names are Christine Consunji and Christina Espiritu. So
There you go.
I think we got a good show. I think we got a good show today, Jonathan. So, before we introduce all of them, that's a little preview of the ladies, but maybe we should go for a quick break before we get them all started into the show, Jonathan.
Sure. So again, Bong, thanks for introducing again who Planet 63 is. And again, Planet 63, we are your products from the Philippines and of course products
That's for the
for the
Filipino.
Filipinos. We'll be right back.
Just because estudyante pa ako, doesn't mean I can't go off chasing my dreams.
Just because kasal na kami, doesn't mean we can't embark on a new journey.
Just because single parent ako, doesn't mean I can't go off on adventures.
Just because may edad na ako, doesn't mean I can't look for new experiences.
Just because single ako, doesn't mean I'm lonely.
And just because I'm on a budget, doesn't mean I can't experience the finer things in life.
That's why at AirAsia, we believe that when it comes to your dreams, no one should settle for anything less than what they deserve. That's why even if you pay less, doesn't mean it has to be less convenient. It doesn't mean you get less comfort. It doesn't mean you can't be treated like a VIP. Because whatever the price, getting you to your dreams shouldn't feel anything less than a luxury. AirAsia, the world's best low-cost airline.
All right, Ferdinand, we're back. So
We definitely
yeah,
are. Yeah. So
We're
right
back.
now, I don't know. Let me go ahead and introduce these wonderful guests of ours, and we've been working with them for a while, and we're happy to have them here. So let me do a really interesting introduction for them. Here it goes.
All right.
Two fun-loving friends who wanted to help the general public discover numerous and excellent Filipino-owned businesses, entrepreneurs, professionals, and creatives in the United States, market. They created and continue to grow their company. The company brand is called My Jeepney Stop. It is now the fastest growing Filipino online directory in the US with close to 3,000 active listings and has since expanded its services to include event management and target marketing services and many, many more. I'd like all of you to meet the founders of My Jeepney Stop, Christina Espiritu and Christine Kasunji. Again, the founders of My Jeepney Stop.
Good morning,
Hello,
ladies.
ladies.
Hi, Ferdinand. Hi,
Hi, everybody.
Professor Jonathan.
I am so glad that you guys were able to join us today. I know you guys are busy. The last time you were here, you were actually in the car, doing the live show. And I'm thinking, wow, these ladies are just amazing to just be all over the place. Thank goodness for internet, so you can do our show pretty much everywhere, right? Right, Jonathan?
Sure. Yeah. You were in the car, and it's been a week, ladies. Right? At least for now, we can have a more formal discussion of how Philippine products can really be promoted specifically there in the USA.
Yeah, because I think this is the time to really give some feedback on what the Philippine manufacturers need to know about the U.S. market. And I know that you guys can deliver an amazing presentation on that and just give us a little bit of a tip. And what can Philippine manufacturers do, and what do they what do they have in store for the U.S. market as far as the U.S. market is in this situation?
Yeah, well, I think, and if I may start, one of the things that sets my jeepney start apart is that we have a multicultural approach to marketing, and it's because of our unique experiences as Filipino Americans, right? So both Christine and I were born in the Philippines, and we grew up here in the U.S. So I think the thing that sets us apart is that we have a really good understanding in both the Filipino market and also the American market.
I think most of the time, the Philippine manufacturers need to get an idea about how to market in the Philippines. With data available these days, I think a lot of times there are a lot of resources that can give them that feedback. But tell us a little bit about what you guys do specifically. Like, be specific as far as, like, I know you have a client you're helping right now. It's actually a Philippine product. It's an alcoholic beverage. And I want you to kind of give an idea on where you market the product and how do you go about doing all of that.
Sure. So, Christine, do you want to start?
Sure. Actually, for that particular product, what we do is, again, it's based on the kind of product that we're marketing. For this particular product, we actually have access to supplier portals for vendors, for the big grocery stores in here in the United States. So we actually purchased that product so that way we can go ahead and submit the products that we currently have in our portfolio through that. The second one is the partnerships that we already have and have created during the years that we have this business. So I think that's two major things that I could say right now. Christina.
Yeah, and one of the things I can add is, like, first of all, as any good marketing agency would do, it's really listening to the client's needs, right? So what we do is we call it the 10-step approach on how to market a product. And we cannot use or discuss all the 10 approaches here because it's going to take more than an hour. But
Are you sure?
Well, you know what? If you're going to have us again next week, we can discuss the other 7.
Ferdinand, yeah.
No, I was going to say that you guys are going to be a future staple of the show. And the reason why you're going to be an amazing addition to the show is because not only do people stop looking at me and Jonathan, they're probably going to get sick and tired of us after a while. All joking aside, okay? But the reality is that you give a perspective. And to me, what's important right now is the Philippine manufacturers need to develop confidence to be able to export their products in the U.S. So the more you give them a perspective on the market, who the buyers are, what you use as far as promoting the product, whether it be event marketing, social media marketing, or just these virtual shows that you guys do also. Those are the things that I think they need to know as far as the marketing aspects concerned. But there's more to bringing a product than just marketing, of course, but that's also very integral. Don't you agree, Jonathan?
Well, actually, Ferdinand, I just would like to go back on what Christina mentioned, because remember, to all our audiences right now, Ferdinand, Christine, and Christina, they're all from the US, the other side of our universe, right? And I represent the Planet 63 here. And this is one thing that I really would like to, for us to discuss, maybe moving forward, Ferdinand and ladies from my jeepney stop, because there are really a lot of talents, should I say, Filipino talents who create products for the world. But it just so happened, Ferdinand, when you mentioned about confidence, that's why if we can really, teach them a step-by-step approach on how they can really expose or promote their products there in the US, the better. So I think that would be a great opportunity for each one to learn, no, through Planet 63, right? Because they don't know what to do, right? Sometimes, I don't know if you will agree with this, they have a good product, it's a gold mine. But remember, in marketing, right, we always say it's all about brand value positioning. Because some will say your product is expensive. How come others bought it, 1,000 of that, right? So that means it's all about really promoting it. And I think My Jeepney Stop, Ferdinand, will be a very, very great, help on this kind of, especially in this new digital economy. Because you mentioned, I don't know, the 3,000, right? For me, if I'm gonna market my product, the 3,000 is a good number to start with. And following the Pareto law, 600 just to start. I mean, it's a good, opportunity for me as a Filipino, product manufacturer for that sort, right?
Right. No, exactly. And so, for example, like for all our products, what we start with is, and even before doing a marketing plan, we do the typical, as you call it, if you have gone to business school, the SWOT analysis, right? So we look at the product strengths, we look at the product's weaknesses, we look at the product opportunities, and also the threats. So we look at, when we before we even look at the brand positioning, is we look at the product itself and say, okay, now we have this. What are their strengths, right? Is it
Correct.
price? Is there something that differentiates them? And then we look at the weaknesses. Is it the labeling? Is it their social media? Is it do they need, influencers? So we need,
Correct.
so we look at these as well. And then we look at the opportunities. And then Jonathan, that I think you touched upon that a little bit, is that what are the opportunities that the brand has since they're looking into the US market? So Christina and I, as you know, as you alluded to, Ferdinand, we are always on the go. So you can find us all the way from San Diego to LA, and it's because we're always looking. so,
Well, because
so one of our
it's
clients, for example, is a is a liquor company. So we have gone to more than 30 liquor stores and bars. Which, you know what, that's part of the job. If we have to go to a bar for a happy hour, that's okay with
And
us, right?
and do a product taste test, Ferdinand. And do a product taste test. I know that. I mean, I used to have a client like that also, and you have to
I
taste the wines.
I love market research there, so I'm okay too. I wish you would have taken me.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's a hard job, but someone's got to do it.
Yep.
Exactly. The struggle is real.
Yeah.
And quick
Yeah.
question again, Ferdinand, and the ladies, what kind of products or services are you looking at from the Philippines based on your 8 year or almost a decade experience? Is it more on retail, FMCG, fast moving consumer goods, or the raw materials, or sometimes a service? Do you limit yourself? Do you have a niche, a niche product to carry under My Jeepney Stop?
Oh, and I can start with that. I mean, we represent many different products and many different services, but I think one thing that really stands out right now is just the opportunity with bringing Philippine ingredients here, food ingredients, right? So if you look in Southern California with over, I think it's at 4 million Filipinos, right? What the population is. If you ask them what type of Philippine ingredient they want, it's always what is it? If you have to,
Ube.
ube, of course it's ube, right?
Ube?
I mean,
As in ube?
As in ube, yes.
Yeah, I said ube. I said ube. Ube. Yeah.
Yeah.
As in ube, really? Are you serious? As in the ube, the violet
Yes.
crop, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Right
there's still a
Right
market
now-
there for ube. Yeah.
Right now, the product is just so amazing. I mean, they're putting it in food, drinks, like desserts, whatever. Go ahead, Christina. Finish what you were saying.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that even just right now, before I was in this show, I just had an ube brownie and an ube boba drink, all in the same
Ube
day.
boba, yeah, the milk tea, right? Ube boba. Wait,
And
if it's ube, guys, if it's ube, have you tasted the piyaya
Oh,
with ube?
yes.
No.
Oh my gosh, I should
Life
send something.
changing.
But do you see like that? Okay, take that for example. What you just said, that may never see the light of day in the marketplace if the manufacturers doesn't take a chance. Right now that the ube piaya would actually be amazing here, but for whatever reason, I don't know whether the manufacturers feel that they're not ready or it's not good enough or this is not a good chance to do that. Right now, you send anything ube here, it's going to get tasted. The people will be curious. And that's what I'm saying about Philippine manufacturers, just like what Christina was saying also, was that that's what they do. More than anything, before you ship the product, export it, you need to talk to people like Christina and Christine who understands the market, especially
Correct.
in that arena.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah, but how about real estate? I mean, can you also do real estate? Because right now, if there's one industry that has made a big rebound slowly but surely, is real estate here. Do you have any experience carrying like real estate, like developers, Philippine real estate developers there?
Well, yes, actually, one of the clients that we have right now is a real estate company that is doing a resort somewhere in Luzon. And so
Okay.
what we do for them is a very targeted marketing because it's actually not in a province or city that's very well known. So it's not like in Manila or Cebu or Davao,
Yeah.
right? So because of that, there's a specific way that we have to actually market it.
Okay.
Even knowing where the location is, right? So we have to tell people what's the location, and B, who's the target market. And so for them, a specific niche are people who are the Filipinos who are wanting to retire in the Philippines. And so we have to familiarize them with activities in the area and also just where the area is, right? Because it's a little bit remote. But yes, we have
Correct.
experience dealing with real estate.
Good.
And then
Good.
just to chime in on that one of the things also that we actually learned along the way is it's not just learning the product or this particular real estate company, but we also learned about, the partnerships that comes along with it, like, the bank loans and how to
Yeah.
finance it. So that way, as we're actually doing this education and product awareness or this real estate awareness, they also know how they can finance it, those kind of things. So that way, when they actually do finance it or they do purchase it, it's from A to Z. It's done.
Correct.
All the information that they need is all there as well too.
Correct. Interesting, Ferdinand. Yeah,
Well,
because
let me add on to that. Let me add on to that. Let's see. That's why the resources of the Philippines are so vast that it takes a lot of people to try to be an expert in each one. But the reality is that there are so many things that in the Philippines that need to be exposed to the marketplace. Like, let me go ahead and make a quick comment about raw ingredients, only because I know that there's a big push for agriculture to thrive in the Philippines, right? And to me, if farmers, cooperatives are listening to me right now, you need to grow the product. I mean, if I were to make a comment to the government right now, you need to do that in terms of the potential for the Philippines to be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to agriculture, the products, whether it be the raw ingredients. Right now, raw ingredients is amazing. We just need to figure out how to collectively organize the supply chain and be able to bring it here. So that's the important thing. I need to encourage all of the farmers and the government to continuously strive to be that because there is a market here in the US.
Ferdinand, before we pause for a break, and this goes to the ladies right now, who I feel like will be our partners, Ferdinand, in the next 5 to 10 years.
Oh,
Why? Because I'm looking at these ladies. Professor Jonathan. Ferdinand. When I met him, he knows that I'm on the academe and corporate. That's why what I'm doing here in my business in the Philippines is that I'm introducing the academy again to the corporate, because as us, right, we have like our degree courses, or some of us were fortunate to advance it and further our studies and take our postgrad or MBAs, or some as the doctorate, right? But here's the thing: is here in the Philippines, corporations forget to be academic, right? Because this is what I've been always telling uh, companies here. Yes, you're good because you have your training department, but moving forward, especially in this new digital economy, you still have to send your leaders or your managers for succession to a business school, and that's what my business is now. I don't know if Christine, Ferdinand, and Christina will consider this, because now I look at these two ladies as a potential digital product that our company, that the academy can offer here. Where do you come in? We can create a course which we call international marketing in the new digital economy.
oh, I
And
love
you
it.
know what? Because Ferdinand, remember, yeah, there are thousands of Philippine manufacturers. You know that, Ferdinand, right? But there are more, but they don't have any background, structured, and a framework of which we can work together, because that is something that they have to learn now. If I am a Filipino and I have a product, because right now with the COVID, everything is digital, global, then I need to take a crash course and we can do a certification for that both in the US and the Philippines because that will make you more confident. And you know what? Theory, that's the course. Practical application, they'll be your partner. My jeepney stop. And of course, don't forget Planet 63, right, Ferdinand?
What do you think about that, ladies? You ready to become teachers, so to speak?
Yeah,
I will say yes for
Ferdinand,
Christina.
remember, after this, I already have those courses, everything digital, access it anytime, anywhere, with anyone. I'll give you a scholarship. So you will see how we do it, and then you just pattern your content on that kind of template.
No,
Oh, nice.
the amazing thing there, ladies, is that you guys will play an integral part in
Yeah.
providing that confidence to the
Education.
manufacturers. Yeah, the education. Not only the education, but techniques, right? Events.
Oh.
So the one thing that I wanted to ask you is that you did something really interesting, an event. Describe a quick event, really quick, like the last one that you did. What did you do for that product? Because we were talking about doing like a pop-up. So can you guys elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure, yeah, and I wish I can send you photos so you can actually smell and see this. It tantalizes senses, right? But I was talking to you about the liquor company that we represent, and because Jonathan, Kamayan, right, or Puro Thai, is something that is very, I would say, very unique here, right? Because it's and things with people with Instagram and Facebook and social media. I mean, if you do a brutal fight, it's just people love it. They take photos and everything. But what we did is an event that we called it a Filipino/Vietnamese fusion kamayan. And what it is, we featured Filipino food, but because of where we are in Southern California, is we also know that there's a big representation of Vietnamese people, and they also love this type of liquor that we have. So we did a fusion brunch for them, and then we made sure that they served the special liquor that we had all day because we have to promote our client. But those are the types of curated events that we do for our clients.
So
Perfect.
you know what? Before we go to a break, I don't know about you guys. I'm trying to figure out or trying to get everybody to maybe chime in on FB Live. Are you guys having a good, are you being able to broadcast what we're doing on FB Live? Is it coming through?
Yeah. Actually,
Okay,
we have audiences from Asia right now: Hong Kong, Macau, Singapore, Malaysia, overseas Filipinos from the US, Canada, of course, Europe. There's someone watching also. Thank you so much for watching Planet 63. Yeah, they can always watch this, right? They can always watch this. All right. So, Ferdinand, we will be back with our Philippine exporter, right? Or an opportunity for a Filipino product to be exposed to the global market. Again, this is your Professor Jonathan from Planet 63 Philippines together with Ferdinand Soriano from Planet 63 USA. We are Planet 63 products from the Philippines, products for the Filipino.
No.
It's more fun in the Philippines,
but it's more fun if it lasts. SOS is a call for help
To save our spots.
a campaign focused on sustainability.
And how applying it can make us better travelers
And more responsible tourists.
To make it simple,
dapat lang marunong tayong rumispeto.
respect the environment.
Pick up the trash as you.
Kahit hindi ikaw nagkalat.
Respect our culture and heritage. Magpaalam bago kumuha ng pictures ng mga locals.
At huwag basta-basta hawakan ng sites. Respect everyone around you.
Dapat good vibes tayo sa kapwa Pilipino.
At syempre sa mga foreign friends din natin.
Dahil dito sa SOS,
Sama-sama tayo.
and every little act we do can help make a big difference.
At home and while traveling.
Like opting for reusables,
Instead of disposables,
biking and walking more, using less electricity.
As long as we're consistent.
And we convince everyone around us to do the same.
We can change this country for the better.
huwag natin babayaan ang Pilipinas.
Join this cause.
Dapat hindi lang maganda ang pinupuntahan nating destinations.
Dapat pinapaganda pa natin ito.
While we're there.
Let's appreciate and take more care.
Of our nature's beauty. Para more travels tayo around the country, more tourists,
Being more respectful.
and more fun in the Philippines.
Let's make our destinations last.
Save our spots.
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 Para more fun forever.
Yeah, Ferdinand, we're back again. We are Planet 63, your premier virtual platform for trade and technology products from the Philippines, products for the Filipinos. Before we proceed, Ferdinand, I'd like to greet those who are watching us live right now. No, Annabel Co, thank you so much for watching. Gabriela Gobaton and Mr. Jan Eric Lopez. Thank you so much. Ferdinand, so yeah, what are your takes on how My Jeepney Stop can help Filipino products, just like our next guest this morning?
Well, their talents are vast in terms of their ability to market in any sort of medium, whether it be social media, traditional, or event or targeted marketing. That's why if anybody's looking for a diverse style of marketing their products, then definitely My Jeepney Stop. Not because I just know them, but I've seen them in action, so to speak. And you just need to follow their Facebook. Enough words said about them, because the reality is you can go to Facebook, you can go to Instagram, you can do see all the things that they're doing, and they're very effective by it. And they can give you the data in the results that they have. Now, before we bring them, our second guest, let's bring back My Jeepney Stop, so that this way they can join us in the discovery of our next product, guest
Great.
product. Okay, so ladies, just sit back, because the reality is we want you to engage our next guest, their products, but just understand them a little bit more. We're probably going to go a little bit up behind the scenes, but I'm going to turn over the microphone to sort of speak to you guys. But let me introduce the next guest. Okay, now their appearance on this show is the result of a long ongoing dialogue on how to market their product in the U.S. market. Thank you, JM Sarte, for that. Our guest for today is a graduate of Ateneo de Manila with a degree in business administration with a major in disciplinary studies. You can say that he's a man of vision, creative, and dynamic. He's truly an ultimate entrepreneur and is associated with well-known Philippine brands. He's the president of EMB Natures Manufacturing, a Philippine-based company. I'd like for you to meet our newfound friend, Michael B. Maglipon.
Hey guys, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, everyone.
Michael, how are you?
Hi. Hello.
So, this is the part where we really want to have you talk a little bit about you and the company, and then obviously we're curious about the product, because this show is about the product. As much as we love having you here, we want to know about the product. Our audience is dying to know what amazing products that the Philippines has to offer for the U.S. market, Michael.
Hi. Okay. So first off, thank you for having me here. Of course, it's really a great opportunity for the company, but more than anything, what we stand for, which I will be discussing in this program. Hi to everyone, Christine, Christina, Ferdinand, of course, and Jonathan. So my name is Mr. Michael Maglipon. I am the president of EMB Natures Manufacturing Corporation. We are an established manufacturer in the Philippines since 2007. I'd say that it was a long road to get to where we are, but short of saying that we had a goal, and that goal was to produce all natural products for the consumers globally. And I'd like to go in that direction by saying, being a proud Filipino, we always want to make sure that we just don't export raw materials. It's been a cliche that the Philippines do have a lot of raw materials, whether it's fruits, vegetables, or as you can see, a lot of coconuts. But we always fall into the trap of selling them as raw materials in the global scene. And way back around 2011, we had a restructuring and said, why not keep on pushing finished products instead of raw materials? Because in effect, it goes back here in the Philippines for around 500 pesos, where in fact the raw material is what? 30 pesos only. And this is what we wanted to share and to say that we can, so as long as we have a plan and we have a footprint how to do it.
Wonderful. Now, this is the part where I'm going to turn over the mic, so to speak, to Christina. And you know what this segment is about, Michael. It's not anything except that we want somebody to ask live questions about your product, you know, where they can get it and things like that. So I'm going to turn it over to Christina. Hey, Christina, meet Michael.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm okay, Christina. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. So, I mean, I see the products that you have in the back, right? But first of all, before I want to know the product, I want to know about you. Like,
Sure.
what's your story? What's your inspiration?
So I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. Being exposed to working since I was like, honestly, when we were like, I think around 12 years old, because my parents were into garments and we were into retail apparel. We were exporting to different countries like Europe and America. So at that age, we started helping our parents because to export products, they need to deliver certain amount of cartons in container vans on a weekly basis. So part of our job was to say, hey, if we don't help our parents just by packing, putting the apparel inside the master cases, taping them, and then shipping it out with them, we won't be able to sleep because the whole house is going to be filled with glitter. So at that time, I got exposed and said, this is what I wanted to do. And lo and behold, we do have different businesses under this shelf, but short of saying that I believe that in terms of how the Filipino can push products, I think that's the biggest part that I'm really concerned with. And to be the global team is what my dream would be.
Okay. And I see, I was looking at your website, and then you said that you actually have a couple of core values, right?
Yep.
So walk me through this, because before one of the things that we, and I alluded to this, is we want to know about the owner, right? The motivation and the inspiration about you, and we want to know the core values, like what makes your product special, right? So what's the differentiating factor? So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Okay, so Philippine really focuses on producing all natural products. When I say all natural, these would be like beautiful fruits and vegetables that are really available here, making them into a concoction that's worth doing for whether for cosmetic industry, whether it's for the cleaning industry. We say that we have these raw materials, and these raw materials can be converted into the best products. Now, of course, we'd want the Filipino to take advantage of it. Hence, we started selling in the Philippines, and hopefully globally we will be available. Behind me, you'd be seeing different kinds of products. We are divided into three categories. There's the soap industry or the cosmetic industry. There's the topical oil industry. And of course, the new industry that we have is the all-natural cleaning products that we really are advocating right now. So it's actually called Be Clean. So it's Bravo Clean. So that's the all-natural cleaning products that we have. Yeah, so lo and behold, when we started selling our product way back 2007, it was a bit of a struggle to say the least because a lot of the consumers said at that time, more natural. I don't think it's something worth doing at that time, and the consumers weren't ready yet. But we just had to wait and wait until it started to explode around 2008 to 2010, when consumers said, this is the way to go. We have to find a way to marry a good balance of using chemical products and all natural products and hopefully shifting towards more all natural products. So people often ask me, wait, do you have your own brands or are you just a toll manufacturer? So that's the biggest difference between our company. We do have our own brands, but we also toll manufacture a lot of different brands here in the Philippines and abroad.
So and talk to me about the brands, because you did mention the brands. I think you had about maybe 5 or 6 that I saw on the website. So how did you divide those brands, right? And then what are the popular selling points of each brand? Like what differentiates them from each other?
Okay, so intrinsically, the biggest small manufacturer brands that we have would be soap. It's been available here in the market, and it's actually nationwide. It's also available in the US, if I'm not mistaken, through certain distributors. That is a co-manufactured brand. We also have Aztec. These are just zoom it in. So these are bentonite pesos, which is also co-manufactured. We also have Video, another new brand scope, which is focused on using oatmeal and honey and glutathione. So these are some of the co-manufactured brands that we have. And in terms of our own brands, we do have Snow White and Maharlika. So these are brands that we currently are selling in the market. And of course, our newest item is Zea soap. Now, people often ask me, what are the differences with these soaps? I'd say, just like any product, they would have a certain active ingredient that they would be proud of. But more than anything, all of these soaps have virgin coconut oil or extra premium pure coconut oil that we are very, very proud of to have in our item.
And I guess what I'm curious about, so when we look at a product, we will also want to know where it's coming from and then where it's going, right? So at this point, I think you had said you started in 2010, if I heard that correctly.
Yes, that is correct. And we started to push all our products way back in 2009 and 2010. We really just focused at that time with cosmetic products, which was purely on the sweet side and the topical oil side. But come around 2015, we started pushing different levels of products, such as all clean all-purpose cleaners that are all natural, which are these products, the BT items.
Mike
and out of the,
Christina, did you have one more question?
I would ask you this. So you had a long history. I'm sure you've done many different strategies, marketing strategies. Describe to me the most successful one that you've done, and describe to me the worst one that you've done that you thought, you know what, I would never do this again.
Okay, it's a funny thing because when you're doing a global line of behavioral health marketing, I always believe that asking the consumer to try a product is the best way to go around it. Because the word of mouth will always tell you the truth. And I think I spoke to Ferdinand about this. Now, when consumers start to try it will you can never joke around and tell a client this product is good. They can only tell you so much up until they realize, hey, you're starting to joke me because you got the best marketing plan ever. But it's always been this tried and tested formula. Hey, this is my product. You try it out, and I'll let you tell me if it works for you. If it does work for you, I assure you they will come back. And when they come back, they're going to ask 5 more friends to try them. And that's been, I guess, if I had more money to be able to push the marketing side, I would. But I always tell each and every person that I encounter, ask the person to try the product. That would be the biggest challenge. And if they go back to you, half the job is done.
Michael, you're the one, your company carries Mestiza, right?
No, to be clear, we are just a co-manufacturer for the brand. Someone owns the brand, and we just manufacture for it.
You know, I looks like we've got a question. I guess we'll answer that question after my other question here. Now, my question to you is that I'm always looking at products from the Philippines as if, you know, I want the show to be more like if a distributor or a buyer is looking at it, right? So obviously, there could be a distributor listening to this right now and asking, well, how do I connect with you? And what are your plans for the product in the U.S. market? Christina might have said it, but I think I was offline and I couldn't hear the question. So I wanted to ask that one more time if she didn't already ask that, Michael.
Okay, so we are really pushing for the products to be available in the global scene right now. We are talking with groups under the Department of Trade Industry to connect us with certain distributors. But yes, we are open to any dealers or distributors willing to, put a gamble on our product just because we feel that it can really, really work well. My dream is to make it an established distributorship wherein products are there with inventory, not just on a JIT or just-in-time system. And that being said, it will promote a better production flow and a better distribution system across all channels. So if they do want to approach us, you can email us at inquiry@easynations.com, or you can just drop us DM here through Ferdinand and Jonathan.
Hey, Jonathan.
Ferdinand? Yeah,
Jonathan,
Ferdinand.
let me ask you something, Jonathan. Was there any comments from, because I saw a comment, maybe might want to ask Michael those same questions.
Sure. Yeah, Mike, first of all, yeah, I'm Professor Jonathan ad Maiorem Dei Gloriam. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations from in behalf of the Ateneo community. You're making us all proud, Mike. And yeah, so quick question, Mike. What's already here in the Philippines? What's the channel that you're looking for? I mean, where are you now in terms of your business canvas or your modeling in terms of distributorship?
Okay, so as mentioned, if we divide the business into two, first would be the toll manufactured products, and the other one would be in-house brands. These are two different facets that we try to promote. The toll manufactured brands are being pushed by the current owners and brand owners, so that's a given to them. Now, in terms of brands that we currently have, which is Sonsea, Snow White, Maharlika, Beauty, these are the brands that we are able to push on our own and to speak to distributors whether locally or in the global scene. And as mentioned, it would be great if distributors would appreciate and see the beauty of the product so they can try it, bring in a few items there, and say, yep, it actually works.
Correct, Mike. But my quick question before I throw in Ferdinand and Christina, the question that we have from the audience is, are you into the direct selling business model or you're into kiosk? Because remember, Mike, right now, a lot of overseas Filipinos or local, our kababayans, they are looking at an online selling platform. Are you already on that kind of channel?
Yeah, so that's actually a great question. No? Way back around May, we started to say there is going to be a very, very big gap in terms of how consumers or Filipinos to be exact will find a way to upend the current issues in terms of financial, cutoffs. Some of them have been laid off, or some of them are working half jobs instead of two jobs.
Correct.
And we said, let's start to push the products. So these products are under the brand of Epinsea, which is our direct selling product. So this won't be available in the commercial team or the supermarkets. Instead, it will be channeled through all the direct selling teams. So I will be forwarding to the group where they can contact the direct seller group that will handle this one. And I think this is a very, very good fit.
Correct. A very interesting, yeah. We have a live audience right now, Kat Oshman, and she was telling, great categories definitely need to create more awareness. That's why my jeepney stop is here around PI product, the Philippine Island products. Also, I'd like to acknowledge Jan Alexa Dr. Bergado, and this is her question, right? So, Mike, how can you attract importer and buyers in the US, and how competitive are your products in the global market? But Mike, before you answer that, we'll quickly pause for a break, for our final break, and then you will answer this question. So again, this is Planet 63, my dear friends. Products from the Philippines, products for the Filipinos. So we're back, Ferdinand. How are you? So we are now on the last stage of our show. See, the 60 minutes is so short, but I'm loving it. I know it's too early still here in the Philippines for some decision makers, but this is my point, Ferdinand, right? Not because I'm a faculty of the Ateneo de Manila University, where Mike Maglipon is from. But this is my point right now. Students or like families of OFs, they really have the ability to become a global product. Am I correct, Ferdinand?
Well, that's definitely what we're hoping for and what we're trying to contribute with this show, because I'm confident of that, and so is everyone that's like Christine and Christina, and that's the reason why they're constantly trying to collaborate with what we're doing, because we do definitely want to make sure that we're constantly promoting the product. So, with that being said, let's go bring back. I guess there was a question before, right?
Yeah.
And then Christina, if you have another remaining question, I know you probably did. I just jumped in because I was so dying to ask him that question about what his plans in the U.S. market, because I really want the distributors in the U.S. to get excited about his product. So if you have another question for Michael before he answers the other one from Jan, yeah, please do so, Christina.
So I think I had seen the question on the chat. So if I can comment on that, it says, how do you attract importers and buyers in the U.S.? And the two things I can think of is that you attract buyers and importers based on two things, right? So based on trust of the product and based on the quality of the product. So my question to Michael is, based on that, like how do you comment on that? How do you think right now? And I know I'm putting you on the spot, but what do you think you can do, or what have you done in order to address those two things? And if you haven't, that's good too. That means we can chat later on and we can help you out.
Okay, sure. First of all, I think I'll answer the question first, which was related to pricing. If I'm not mistaken, I saw this quoted here, how you can attract consumers, specifically importers and buyers in the US in terms of competitive pricing. So having been exposed to retail, I think I am quite aware how pricing works globally. And the way it works, basically, from a manufacturer standpoint, there's a certain SRP here, and each manufacturer should be able to consider three facets in the middle. That would be an agent, probably, a distributor, a reseller, and then the end user. So that being said, we already made sure that our pricing is well equipped to accommodate all the different levels in between without sacrificing quality, of course. And as mentioned, if the products and the raw materials are absolutely 95% available here in the Philippines, then we should be able to get it at the best price possible to be competitive in terms of distribution and selling in the global scene.
It looks like we might have lost Christina, but but that's part of the whole thing with with doing everything live stream. So we never know if we're gonna lose somebody. But if Christina is still there, it looks like it. She left out. But anyway, moving forward, Michael, our concern all the time is that I'm always curious to ask the manufacturer, what do you think is your biggest challenge in reaching the U.S. market? To be more specific, what have you found that to be the case, or even just maybe theorize what other Philippine manufacturers are always concerned about? Can you give us a little bit of a perspective on that?
Okay, so I'd answer it twofold. First off would be asking the distributor to believe in the product. Once they believe in the product, you've already had half of your job done. Because now the next question is, how much can they gamble to say, am I going to just provide the consumers enough to append what they need? Or am I going to provide the consumers enough and more, which is called inventory, to append an inventory need? And that's where the struggle comes in. We firmly believe that every distributor should be able to cater at least 3 months worth of items in the shelves of any of the consumer markets. That being said, that will uphold consistency. Because just remember, once I have the product in my hands, I love it, I use it, the next question is it still available when I come back the next day? And that's when you lose your consumer. If it's not available anymore, then probably they're going to get another brand and say, ay, okay na to, this looks pseudo like what I had before, and I'll probably try it again. So again, that would be the biggest struggle. Asking the distributor to say, gamble on these items because they do make sense. Ask the consumers to try it and make sure it's still available in the next few months.
Well, one thing that I wanted to add on and piggyback to what you said, Michael, is that I've always had this theory. I think most of the Philippine manufacturers that I've dealt with, all their products are world class. But a lot of times, the biggest problem is for them to reach the U.S. market, not only deal with all of the rules and regulations and FDA and things of that nature, but the actual bringing of what type of product needs to be brought in. That's why I've discussed with many people about possibly encouraging the mindset of the Philippine manufacturers to really think about having a sample mindset. Right now where a lot of people, if we're going to talk economically, a lot of people do want to try different things, but there's going to be a point where people don't want to spend too much money when they're trying something new. And that's why I brought that up to other people. And I don't know if you feel the same way about it, but you don't have to give me any sort of secret and how you really, really feel in terms of if you're going to do that for your company. But how do you feel about that type of marketing?
Okay, that's another great point here. It was equally discussed a few days back that the global scene has quite changed in the past few months because their money is kind of crimped right now and saying, where do I put my money? And that's always going to be the question. If I do intend to put my money somewhere, the next question would be, how much money do I put in? And by providing, just like exactly what you said, a sampling institution in terms of providing them X amount of samples that they can start showing off, putting off, and telling the consumers, try it, try it, try it, then we get to show the consumer side that we can be able to, say, have a plethora of ranges of items that they can choose from. And on the person or the distributor who's bringing it in, it gives him more flexibility.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping that some of the people watching us right now are thinking about that and chime in. That's why this show is about trying to get feedback, not only from marketing professionals like Christine and Christina, as well as Jonathan, but having some of the people chime in and tell us what they feel about how to try different products and where you could actually market the product. So with that being said, Jonathan, can you come back into the picture, or Christina also?
Yeah, I'm still here.
So,
Yeah. So yeah.
Do you guys have any other question? I know that we're approaching the 6:30 hour, and there's a lot more to be at, to ask Michael over here. But at the same time, I wanted to see if you guys can chime in. Any parting comments for Michael?
Christina?
Yeah, my comment for Michael is that, I think you have done a tremendous job with all the different products that you have, and I cannot wait to see what your plans are for the future. I can't wait to see your company 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. And and I'm really excited to see what we can do for you, what Ferdinand can do for you, and what Jonathan can do for you. So what? Good luck. And I am pretty sure that we'll be chatting with you again. So, but yeah, best of luck and success to you.
Thank you, Christina. That's thank you very much.
In spite of all the technical glitches that we might have had, try to keep in mind, all our audience, to pay attention to the show, and because the spirit of the show is really trying to make Philippine or U.S. local products become global. So at the end of the day, we feel that with your support to continue to watch it and really be exposed what's available, because also, you might get ideas here from a product that you might want to put in to your current online business right now. We're talking about maybe doing drop shipping in the future. We're talking about white labeling products. Those are the things that Planet 63 is trying to encourage with this, especially with Philippine products and vice versa. So Jonathan, did you have any parting comments to say?
Yeah, maybe my last question for Mike is really, like, what can he say, to inspire, of course, the millennials, the young generation, that with this new economy, even though as a student, they can already become entrepreneurs. Maybe you could just, like, share like 3 points, that after doing business, what are the 3 points that you'd like to share, for the young entrepreneurs, especially here in the Philippines, Mike?
Yeah, so I do conduct a number of talks with whether the alumni school that I go to. And the basic 3 points that I always mention would be, first, you have to study your market. You have to provide as much data as you can. You can't just come up with numbers in your head and say, because it looks nice, it may look good on paper, but you have to back them up. In terms of studying, it's a broad range. That means, number 2, you have to do the time. A lot of people who want to do business, they say, you know what, I'd go 6 hours a day. But for those who want to go the extra mile, you got to do a bit more. And that will entail sacrifice. And I have to be very, very clear with that without the sacrifice, you can't get anywhere. Some people really get lucky, maybe probably 2 hours of work, they get something out of it. But some, and for most of us, there is sacrifice to achieving a goal. And I'm not saying you're going to withdraw all your time from your family or whatnot, but you have to understand that when you do that sacrifice wholly and freely, understanding your data properly, you'll probably get to your goal faster than everybody else.
Correct.
And last and not the least, since we are really talking about how the Filipino can, sometimes I do sound like a politician when I joke around about this, but I am such a proud believer in the Filipino. And my father-in-law always tells me, when I ask him, what's the future of the Philippines? And he always tells me one thing: if you're still here in the Philippines, if you're still standing on a Philippine ground, then your mindset should be one thing, that you can be that difference, just that one person to make that difference. And if I can be that difference, affect the people around me, the people who work for me, and the families that they have, then probably we will make a difference. So that being said, I can't harp enough on the fact that I admire all the people who are, whether they're in Dubai, they're in Qatar, they're in California and whatnot, who still strive to say the Filipino is worth dying for, in that sense, because we really can. And I hope through these small items behind me, we can be proud enough to say we do have the best fruits and vegetables around. And I tell you, being an archipelago, the best coconuts anywhere in the world. So that's one thing that I keep on pushing, and to make sure we sell finished goods, not just raw materials.
Very well said, Ferdinand. Very well said. And to add to what Mike mentioned, Mike, just like one advice from your professor. Always believe that when you believe in your dreams and someone believes in your dreams, it will happen. And I believe in you. All right, Ferdinand, let's end the show.
Michael, your products are quality, world class. Definitely, you just need to continue to collaborate with people that will make a difference for it. So hopefully, we could be one of those people that could do that for you. But with that being said, we want to go ahead and end this show by letting you know who's the guest next week, which we're excited. Also, we're going to have a U.S. company called Kids That Code. The gentleman's name is Alfonso Anaya. He'll present his educational material. Hopefully, that's something that in the Philippines might find interesting. And from the Philippines, we're planning to have in our show a company called Artisan Trading. They'll basically be showcasing Philippine fashion. With that said, I am so excited that we wrap up our 5th episode. Jonathan, you're amazing co-host for this and being in the Philippines. And then Christina, you guys did a fabulous job. And Michael, always, my friend, thank you so much for being in the show. You did an amazing job. You did the presentation really well. You just weren't a talking head. Good job, buddy.
Good job.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Enjoy the afternoon.
Thank
you. So with us right now, of course, Ferdinand Soriano from Planet 63 USA. I'm your professor, Jonathan, from Planet 63. We are Planet 63, products from the Philippines and products for the Filipinos. God bless you at mabuhay tayong lahat. Magandang araw sa iyo, kabayan. This is Kachamp John P., Coach Jonathan of B Academy Training Hub for Entrepreneurship. I'd like to invite you to enroll in our online entrepreneurial masterclass wherein there are 4 things that I'd like to share with you bago ka magsimula magnegosyo. Una, paano gumawa ng entrepreneurial branding to create value for the product or service na naiisip mo. Number 2, how to create demand-driven marketing strategies so that you can attract and promote and position your products and service. And number 3, tinatawag kong strategic salespreneurship on how you're going to convert all your leads, all your inquiries into sales revenue. At syempre, number 4, how can you maintain and attract customer loyalty and customer experience. These 4 videos will be accessed by you online, anytime, anywhere, fully digital. All you have to do is enroll at www.coachjonathan.net youtube.com/Entlet Masterclass. And not only that, I'm going to give you a copy of the ebook, yung Seesaw Sell, no? 5 killer instinct mindsets for you to sell and win more in this new norm. So, libre ng ebook. And what's good is you can be certified, no? I'm going to give you assessments for each and every course that you take. So, 4 courses in one. It's called the Online Entrepreneurial Masterclass. Maraming salamat, and I'll see you in class. God bless you.